We're in the staff kitchen of current affairs program Cited. Like most of her colleagues, news editor Kim Cooper heads straight for the coffee first thing in the morning. On this morning, however, there's a problem. Someone else has finished off the milk.
That's just great. Guess I'll be drinking my coffee black this morning. Ugh, I bet it was Nelson. So irresponsible. He knows you're supposed to buy another carton when you use the last drop. It's not like the shop's far away, it's just down the street. So typical of Nelson. He only thinks of himself.
Morning, Kim.
Whatever, Nelson.
What's with her? Talk about crabby in the morning. Couldn't crack a smile for anyone. I really can't stand her. Pity she's my boss. Ah, what? No milk? Oh, that'd be right. Thanks a lot, Kim.
It's a simple enough problem. Both Kim and Nelson have started their days without milk for their coffee, and each person secretly blames the other. It's not yet a conflict, but there is potential in this kind of situation for a conflict to develop. This program is about disputes and conflict in workplace life. We'll look at what is conflict, the role of conflict in the workplace, the conflict spiral, conflict management strategies, and constructive conflict management. In the media, whether newspapers, magazines or television current affairs, large-scale conflicts are reported nearly every day. And while it may seem as though the path to large-scale revolt, or worse, war, is long, almost all conflicts begin with much smaller disagreements and disputes. In the workplace too, conflict can begin as a small-scale difference or disagreement.
All right, cut there.
I'd like to leave that going on a little bit more because it's got the good sort of smoke.
And unless managed carefully, small disputes can escalate into larger conflict.
When the smoke comes up.
Stuart, who's directing this piece? I said cut there.
I'm only giving my opinion.
Just do it!
Fine. You do it.
There are two common kinds of workplace conflict. The first is when people's ideas, decisions and actions about a job, a social right or responsibility, or a concept are in opposition. For example,
Right, now to this story on the sackings at the biscuit factory. What sort of angle were you thinking of? I think we should focus on the new workplace laws.
Yeah, I thought of that, but I actually think that's the angle that everyone's going to run with.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is we go with the offshore manufacturing issue.
It's not really anything I'd thought about.
I just think it's the one thing that's going to make this story really stand out.
a conflict of ideas such as this can be productive in the workplace because it can result in the clarification of important issues, result in solutions to problems, allow for the exploration of a variety of ideas, and can help develop cooperation between individuals.
It is a good point, and it's certainly not the obvious angle. Yeah, look, I agree with you. Let's get to work on it.
Great, thanks.
Another common kind of workplace conflict is a personality clash, where two people just don't get along.
Kim Cooper speaking.
Yeah, hi Kim, it's Nelson.
Oh, it's you. What do you want?
Is it possible to get Wednesday next week off?
Well, no, I'm sorry, Nelson. I just can't approve that. We're far too busy. You'll just need to choose a more appropriate day for your leisure activities. That will teach him to use all the milk.
In contrast to a conflict of ideas, personality clashes are rarely productive. They can lead to lower productivity, lower morale, and an increase in absenteeism.
She's relentless. How unreasonable is that? Looks like we're taking a sickie instead.
For people experiencing this kind of personality-based conflict, work can become unpleasant and stressful, and the conflict can have a negative impact on other areas of their life. Conflict often begins with a small difference of opinion or a disagreement. The two common types of workplace conflict are conflict of ideas and conflict of personality. Conflict of ideas can be constructive and can lead to the clarification of ideas and provide solutions to problems. Conflict of personality is rarely constructive and can lead to lower productivity and morale.
It's good, but that image should be moved to the right.
The image, we move it to the right, it's typical of every image that we've done before.
I think it'd definitely work better if it's resting in the right.
Look, it's dynamic on the left. We have more movement that shocks
But people's
the viewer.
eyes move from the left-hand side of the page to the right. So
Typically.
it seems perfect to put it in the right.
You
Look, can you do it for tomorrow?
Whatever your workplace, whether in media, in sales, on the factory floor, at a building site or behind a retail counter, small conflicts are likely to occur on a regular basis. This is because workplaces are made up of individuals whose own unique opinions, experiences and ideas shape their respective approaches to their tasks and responsibilities. These individual experiences and ideas are known as the subjective factors affecting workplace conflict. These may include individual attitudes towards work and the task at hand.
It can stay where it is. I'm just here to do my job from 9 to 5. It's not like they pay me overtime.
Individual ambitions.
Right, we're going to win the television ratings this month, no matter what it takes.
Individual abilities.
Been doing this job for 5 years. I think I know how to do a good edit.
And individual personalities.
Can you keep it down?
The other factors affecting workplace conflict are objective factors, or those factors directly related to the business's rules and culture. These may include business goals,
To average 800,000 viewers each weeknight.
the time allocated to complete specific tasks,
She wants me to move the image, but moving the image means I have to redesign the whole thing.
management style,
Just do it.
and budgets.
I really need some assistance with this work. Can't they bring someone else on, even if only twice a week?
The mix of subjective and objective factors influencing conflict in the workplace can be an explosive mix. Workplaces are made up of individuals with their own unique opinions, experiences and ideas. These influence the subjective factors affecting workplace conflict, such as individual attitudes, ambitions, abilities, and personalities. Other factors affecting workplace conflict are objective, such as the business goals, management style, time limits, and budgets. While small disagreements in the workplace may occur on a daily basis, major conflicts develop over time, often intensifying quickly from a small point of difference to an ongoing disagreement to a major dispute to an all-out conflict.
Cameron, this looks the same as yesterday.
I didn't move it.
What's going on? I asked you to move the image.
I said I thought it was fine where it was. I didn't have time to move it.
Well, you could have done it last night.
And you could afford to pay me some overtime.
Look, I need you to move it now.
When a difference of opinion is not immediately resolved and each party's needs remain the same, the initial dissatisfaction tends to build into stronger disagreement, resentment and resistance. This is known as a conflict spiral, where what begins as a difference of opinion can escalate into a heated debate and then into a shouting match and sometimes even a physical confrontation. This often results in increased heat, aggression and general unpleasantness. In a conflict spiral, the tactics used by one party, such as demanding or aggressive behaviour, will often lead to the other party adopting similar tactics in defence. This spiral can usually only be broken by deliberately changing its direction by making a positive suggestion.
Well, you could afford to pay me some overtime.
We can't afford to pay you overtime, and you know that. But I would still really like this moved. How about I get Sally to give you a hand with your workload this morning? And then maybe you'll have time to fix it up.
Well, that would be a help.
Good.
A conflict spiral can also be broken when a third party is controlling the discussion or debate. The third party can do this by preventing the disputing parties from interrupting one another and by controlling who is speaking and what is being said.
Stuart, who's directing this piece? I said cut there.
I'm only giving my opinion.
So let's hear it then.
What?
Your opinion. I stand outside this door every day listening to the two of you argue over which shot to use. What's your opinion?
I just reckon the grab would be a little bit more powerful if we let it run on a little bit. You know, let the smoke take over the screen.
Great. And what's your opinion?
I think we've got to keep the piece short. The shorter the grabs, the better.
Okay, can we run it another couple of seconds?
No, I suppose the smoke looks okay. A few more seconds, yeah.
Major conflicts develop over time, from difference to disagreement to a major dispute, and finally an all-out conflict. This happens when initial disagreements are not immediately resolved. The process is known as a conflict spiral. In a conflict spiral, tactics used by one party will usually be mirrored by the other. The spiral can usually only be broken by one party deliberately changing its position with positive suggestions. It can also be broken in instances where a third party becomes a moderator.